is there a way to automate entering checks in QuickBooks Online? It's really easy to set rules for credit card and debit card transactions because the bank feed has the payee, but checks only have the check number, so you have to look at the check image online. For many checks, it can be time consuming. I'm very glad you asked that question, Richie. So here's a workaround. So as you know, QuickBooks Online can only spit out the information it's given. So how can we give it the information in the most efficient fashion? For this, you don't look to technology. Well, you can, before you look to technology, you look to process. And here are a couple of ways. Hey, Elisa, welcome. I was just talking with your old friend, Walter. He says to tell you he's not a flake. So I would turn to process first and say, what are the ways that check information can get into QuickBooks Online? So there are a couple of ways, and then we'll discuss the ways that technology can support that. So first of all, in some cases, if a client is insisting on writing paper checks, now that's a big if, because there's a huge consulting opportunity here to get the client into a paperless situation, which can be more secure and it can be faster. And we'll talk about some issues related to that. So if the client is insisting on writing paper checks, or if you mutually agree that paper checks are the way to go, you may consider having the client enter those checks into the accounting system. You do the classifications because you're the accountant, and if you're performing bookkeeping functions, you classify them. But in QuickBooks Online, you can use the accountant's tool, the batch reclassify, or it's called reclassify transactions. And all you have to do really is go into the account, sort them by payee name, and then classify them all. So for you, it doesn't have to be time consuming at all, and the client can enter the checks and not have to worry about messing up the categorizations. It can take them very little time to do that. It's not the only solution, but in certain cases, it will work. Here's another example. If there is a way that you can create the process such that more bills are handled electronically, then you can use a service like bill.com, where the bill is sent from the outside party to bill.com. And then ultimately, when the bill is paid, it's done so electronically and it's imported into QuickBooks Online. The bill payment is imported. So that kind of process is worthy of consideration as well. Now, regarding the underlying process of, well, how electronic should we go? I'll tell you, a lot of business owners, including nonprofits and for-profits as well, are not really considering that things have evolved technologically. And yet people are still writing paper checks. It is so easy to commit, for a layperson, pretty much a layperson, I guess, to commit check fraud by getting the account and routing number from the bottom of any check that they see. And we've seen people suffer from this, from having paper checks out there that get into the wrong hands. Now, if you're sending checks to particular vendors and you're issuing those paper checks, maybe for particular vendors they have good controls in place and you have no reason to suspect that there could be an issue. However, if there's a high volume of checks, they're getting into the hands of a lot of people. I would strongly suggest setting up an electronic payment system like bill.com, or even through, if necessary, the bank's own ACH program, or other ways of transferring money electronically which are infinitely more secure than sending out a paper check which has your client's account and routing number on it, plain for anyone to see. And if those electronic methods are employed, then data entry into QuickBooks Online is a lot faster. So consider this to be a consulting opportunity, or have the client enter the checks into QuickBooks Online, just not categorize them, or consider using an app like bill.com. to help to automate that.